So today, Bungie dropped the first major bit of gameplay for Marathon and a huge amount of details about the actual game. Of course, they had their live reveal today, so we're seeing some of the first gameplay of it right here. Of course, we get a mixture of kind of trailer footage and actual gameplay. This video will certainly be detail heavy, I suppose, but at the same time, the gameplay, of course, speaks for itself. So in that respect, I think it's looking pretty polished right now, but some key details to get straight into it. Marathon is going to be dropping on September 23rd of 2025, so this year. And on top of that, on April 23rd, there will be a closed alpha, which they say will be North America only, and all players are able to sign up for a chance to be involved in that alpha, so obviously it will be region specific. Bungie have said they'll continue to invite people throughout the duration of the playtest, so it'll run between April 23rd up until May 4th, and I'll link in the description box below a thread with details on how you can sign up for that on Discord, so that's the first part. I should also confirm right here, Marathon will not be a free-to-play title like some of the similar sort of games, so Bungie have said it's going to launch as a premium product. That'll also mean it has a battle pass and potentially future sort of purchases, DLC drops and things like that in the future, so that will be a differentiating factor for Marathon, perhaps versus some other titles in the space. But of course, players are mercenaries in Marathon, freelance for various factions and corporations in the world. We can see from a bunch of the gameplay this does have the classic Bungie feel in a lot of ways, which is important. Plenty of neat weapon behavior and animations. It looks pretty polished as well in terms of actual gameplay, outside of just the more sort of trailery stuff. And Bungie have said this is a world where players will encounter numerous risks and zones, which will all behave in different ways. Yes, it is an extraction shooter, and it lives in a reimagined Marathon world, where graphic realism, kind of futuristic but also minimalistic in some ways, has been the focus for Bungie. They've said there will be a total of 6 runner classes, so this is a class-focused game. For the alpha version, there'll be 4 available. They don't speak about all of the classes yet, but they refer to Locust, which is the kind of soldier fantasy, push-forward gameplay with first-pick style aggression and power. Then there's Blackbird, which is recon-focused, kind of finding players, feeding info back to the team and punishing poor positioning. You'll notice Glitch as well, which is the kind of agile runner, flanking and moving through the space in mysterious ways, kind of blinking and teleporting around. And finally, there will be Void, the stealth class that'll be able to throw smoke grenades, trick enemies, and revive players. Bungie have said there will be 3-man squads, so any combination of runners can actually be used. You could rock 3 of the same if you like. And in the maps, there'll be a variety of points of interest with zones of up to 18 players. So that will be the larger scale maps. Bungie have said some content will have fewer players enabled, so map scale is going to influence that a lot. And a lot of the gameplay you're seeing here is on a map called Dire Marsh. So you may also have noticed there is both a sort of PvE component to this as well as the PvP side. And the UESC are the AI here, so there is a PvE component to the game, and unlike some battle royales, for instance, or even extraction shooters, matches won't have masses of players. It's designed as a combination of PvP, which of course is the main threat, but additional risk and opportunity provided by AI enemies. And I kind of get the sense that Bungie don't want this to exclusively be a hardcore PvP extraction shooter. Of course, that is a critical component to it. It's kind of the core of the game, and winning will be rewarded. But there are many ways to progress, and Bungie speak about that a few times. Ways to build out classes in the arsenal, and a lot of progression in Marathon by the looks of it. And Bungie are trying to keep the game as appealing as possible to the wider FPS audience alongside fans of extraction shooters or even battle royale kinds of games. So that's an important component. Of course, the objective is to get in, get loot, and get it out of there. And in Bungie's words, if you die, you lose the loot. And if you survive, you keep that loot, which you can use to build your character. And there'll be customizable builds, which sort of play into those rewards. We'll speak about them in a moment. But they also indicate certain parts of the map will feature higher tier loot, which will create hotspots of activity. And there'll be a risk-reward component with heavily fortified zones, as well as secrets and Easter eggs in the world, which is kind of a classic Bungie thing as well. They're probably going to use some of their experience with Destiny lore and building in storytelling to the world in that way as well. So we'll see dynamic events in the world, changing weather, as well as traversal opportunities. And Bungie also tease endgame challenges, ranked play, and community events that'll form part of the sort of live service of Marathon in a number of ways. But on top of the PvP part, Bungie spoke about contracts, which will provide additional progression and objectives for players, and equally, that will reward players with upgrades for weapons, as well as classes, specific builds, and more. So there'll be a bunch of missions initiated by AI, which pay out specific rewards upon objective completion, and that'll allow players to essentially complete contracts regardless of match success. So as they've alluded to a couple of times, winning the match was not the only way to have success in the game or to indeed progress. And there'll be loads of loot, weapons, various different types of equipment, as well as consumables, and then cores and implants, which are different types of player upgrades. On top of that, backpack upgrades, allowing us to carry more stuff, obviously, and then materials and currency, which can be earned by trading valuables. So again, the progression component of Marathon is pretty important. Then in the world, of course, there'll be various pickups which can heal, increase survivability, as well as give back health and shields. And further on the subject of the implants and cores that Bungie spoke about, that'll be an additional layer that can change player behavior, as well as grant stat increases, ability boosts, and a variety of perks that affect the sandbox. So that's the overall progression component, but on top of that, weapons will have their own progression and attachments, including mods that can significantly adjust weapon behavior. So Marathon is going to be an interesting mix of different components, really. At its core, it is an extraction shooter, but obviously progression, as well as having an interesting world and kind of lore and a story for the world, not in a traditional campaign sense, but it certainly makes Marathon a pretty interesting proposition. And again, I think gameplay for a title like this is critically important and kind of speaks for itself, and Bungie provided some demo gameplay sessions that they'd captured during some recent playtests for the game, which is actually the same build that we'll get in the closed alpha. So I'm going to run some of that right here, guys. Like I said, I think it looks pretty polished. Plus, if you want to see it, I'll link a cinematic video down below that gives more of a kind of insight into the world of Marathon and a bit more of a story component, which is certainly a very, very cool video. Otherwise, I think the gameplay is the best place to focus right here, so I'll let that speak for itself. If you found the video useful though, I'd definitely love to get your thoughts in the comment section on this. It's most definitely a game I'm interested in. Of course, I may have to wait a while to actually play it, given that I'm not in the US and this is going to be a North America closed alpha. Safe to say there'll be a bunch of FOMO about that, but otherwise, give us your thoughts below. And for now, I hope you have an awesome day.
Alrighty. Bio research is right next to us. You want to do the intercepts?
Yeah.
You just want to grab that real quick?
Yeah, we can do that.
You want to get going?
Yep, medal.
That should be a good one.
I didn't actually. I've not been there yet.
Okay, there's...
Oh, yeah.
So, for the gang, there is fall damage, and it is severe if you
There is.
drop
I got a mod
a
earlier that, like, drastically reduces it, though. So there are ways to reduce it.
I may have just exploded my kneecaps.
If you dash right before you hit the ground, you don't take
it saves it.
It'll
damage.
break the fall, yeah. Happens to the best of us.
AI on the right. Yeah, more AI inside the, like, the little shrubbery compound over there.
A hostile unit is calling for reinforcements.
Sorry. Excuse me, sorry.
You're good, you're good.
Yeah, still heading to field maintenance.
Yep.
Oh, I got AI over here like 20 feet.
Oh my god, he didn't shut up. Are we killing them or ignoring them?
AI with a snipe up above is looking at me.
I need some bits of ammo. You guys find any? There's a green punk right there.
There's ticks underneath.
I hit here, I think.
Player. Down one.
I hit one, pretty sure, but I'm...
Down two.
Down. That's all of them. Right.
Yeah.
Now we're doing it. Actually, you want to do the HPD? Over here. Red dot's right there.
Either way, I'm getting shredded right now, so I gotta
clear the AI outside first. They're just gonna beam us if we don't get rid of them.
we gotta. Yep.
What the? What?
That's a purple one.
Oh hell! Wait, the one that's at fire like 5 knees are lethal.
The grenadiers, yeah, they're pretty. What'd you have on your little guy?
Oh, one of the guys you killed had just been weapons on him. Poor guy.
Oh, mechanics kit. That's what we need, right? Just mechanical status effect.
I'm using it.
Approaching active data
Yeah, I'm
collection.
inside with him. When you have the mechanics kit, it doesn't take anything. You're just good. Yeah. I'm unlocking the box. Yeah, dropping in. Big ones too.
UESC reinforcements.
They've got long shots in too. Oh. Yeah. That's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I played one shield. There's a loot up there who's absolute. Oh my god, I'm almost dead. I just realised.
Where are they?
They're on the balcony, like south 200.
I got one knocked. I got one knocked.
Nice. That's
Annihilated, dude. Oh my
On
god.
me. I'm out of ammo.
Yeah, I would say it's a
Oh
self
yeah,
res.
there's a sniper.
Freaking no! It's a Brian. Kill him. He's a fiend, dude.
I'm coming to you, Sven.
Yeah, I see him.
Don't underestimate this guy.
Oh my god, that's it. He killed two, I think it's 1v1. Ben, you knocked one, I knocked another.
Good stuff. I literally only have a sniper.
A unit is signaling for reinforcements.
Oh, heavy
Okay,
rest.
the knock I had was way over here. I don't see anybody over there yet.
He's been quiet for an awful long time, I reckon he's gone for res. Back him.
He's right there. He's right there. Yep.
Yeah.
Tell me if they red.
There's a guy. Yeah, he's holding the angle at a distance.
Sniped a sniper.
Yeah, right on me. This player. On me. Very weak up there. I'm underneath.
Are they where we got boys at now? Nice.
Knocked one.
Coming.
Got one left.
I take shots on the right side, like you used to think.
I don't know if they're close.
I got no tags. Oh.
There.
You got eyes?
Yeah, A1.
Oh,
you
is
got
that
ping,
him
you
up
got
there? Is
ping.
that him up there? Is he upstairs inside?
Yes, sorry, he was. Yeah, hear him. Or is that USAC?
There's a
you
USAC
said we
guy right
something in
there.
here. They were shooting something in here.
I think they kind of built a ringer group, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty confident.
They built a God Squad, you could say. I feel like we might be the God Squad.
That was good. That was a good run.
Marathon is a team-based extraction shooter set around the mysterious and cutthroat world of Tau Ceti 4. You are a runner, a cybernetic mercenary who's given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats, capable of both tactical and fast-paced combat. Here you'll fight in a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. You'll face rival runners in zones of up to 18 players, countless security forces, and otherworldly threats. To scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The environments of Tau Ceti 4 are filled with weapons, materials, and equipment you can scavenge throughout the map. Before deploying, you'll strategically build your loadout and select a runner to ensure you're equipped for the run ahead. Your objective is simple. Get in, gather as much loot as you can, and make it out alive. Die, and all your gear will be up for grabs. Survive, and your loot can be taken into future runs as you grow in power and fill your vault. Death is inevitable, but it's never the end. Think quickly on your feet and outplay your opponents, and in your next run, you and your teammates will be the ones coming out on top. And even if you're down on your luck, factions can sponsor you with a fresh loadout, so you can get right back into the fight. Bungie brings its best-in-class first-person multiplayer action to the forefront. Dynamic and tactile gunplay, runners with unique playstyles, and customizable builds create highly dynamic and strategic teamfights. Whether you're on a zero-to-hero run or high-rolling with powerful gear, you'll need to use your best judgment when you decide which fights to pick and how. Because no matter how geared you are, players with skill and strategy will always have the edge. Marathon is designed to be played in crews, with contextual pings, shared objectives, and down but not out, to streamline playing with your friends. Death is not the end. And if you're the last one standing, you can overcome the odds to revive your teammates and get out with your hard-earned loot. And if you believe your skills alone are enough to conquer any challenge, we give you the freedom to opt out of crew fill, to take all the glory for yourself as a solo runner. No two runs in Marathon ever play out the same. With dynamic events, variable weather, and unpredictable players, you'll have to adapt on the fly if you want to survive. Each run has a time limit, and anything can happen while you're chasing your objective. Looking to unlock upgrades or increase your faction reputation? Slip into the shadows as Void and ghost past your enemies. Search the map for rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. Want to push enemy teams and steal their loot? Bring in Glitch with agility implants and your strongest weapons to disrupt rival crews. Running support for your friends, grab extra equipment, shield charges, and a specialized backpack to be the lifeline they need. You're always free to experiment with team compositions, and the only limit to how you want to play your runner is your loot and imagination. Endgame challenges, ranked play, discovering secrets, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more all await you in Season 1, where you and your friends will start to unravel the mysteries of Tau Ceti 4. Remember, you're only ever one run away from your next big score.